What's good? What's good? This evening, I'm gonna try to talk about some things on my mind. I'm gonna try to keep it short. I think think I talk a little bit too long, and then the live stream just goes into the early morning, and the next day you like, damn, I mean, you had a good time, but you gotta go. You know, deal with things the next day. And it's like, man, you just be crashing out. So I'm gonna try to keep this as brief as possible in less than an hour, but it just depends on the situation. Uh, but the thumbnail of this video, let me explain it, get right into it, and then also the hashtag strays. So as a as a man that I consider myself a young old man, at this point, basically getting close to my middle 40s. I'm noticing a lot of women are crashing out. Okay. What do I mean by crashing out? They're going to jail, they're getting in financial binds, they're making bad decisions. A lot of this, is based off of the new dating paradigm or mating paradigm in America and a lot of different countries as well. They have moved away from, when I say they, I mean women, have moved away from traditionalism, which basically, to keep it short, to explain things as a kindergartner, traditionalism is basically fathers in the home, fathers making decisions on who dates and ultimately mates with the father's daughter, right? Well, unless you didn't really understand or didn't think about it, the new mating paradigm where women have full choice over who they date, who they mate with, has ultimately led to a paradigm in society. Looking at this from a sociological perspective, it basically created a vacuum, a power vacuum that's basically a powder keg that's blowing up as we speak. It's already blowing up all over the place. You just look at it as some type of like soup that's boiling over or broiling over and coming all out the pot, you know, literally. It is the reason why there's a lot of young men going around like in Chicago with switches. It is the reason why a lot of young men are, basically themselves crashing out, and also why young women are ultimately crashing out, and also very single, very uh, very much single with children, raising children by themselves, or secondarily LGBT, and they have a girlfriend or wife that they live with, basically as some type of Kamahilgi. I might be messing it up. Kamhogi River Collective. It's like I think that's a book based off of women living in some type of makeshift community, surviving, helping each other out, and even having sex with each other. I believe that's what that is about, and just briefly. But that's what you see a lot, okay? And I'm not speaking of the black community. This is very general as far as like what I see other other people just in general in America, this is primarily what I see. Now, if you want to put a lens on Black America, yeah, definitely LGBT. Let's just say LGBTism is rising in Black community primarily. Women are very much turning gay. You got women in a YouTube on YouTube basically converting women to be homosexual. You know, she's called herself the queen maker. She's literally making queens. You know, she's making LGBT queens. She's a LGBT influencer. She's literally converting women to be lesbians as a means to deal with men or the distaste for men. Um, and I'll just have to remind you as well, feminism, an extreme form of feminism, is lesbianism. The ultimate goal to, put men in their place and down with the patriarchy and all of that. An extreme, like let's just say a right wing or left wing, whatever you want to call it, form of feminism is lesbianism. Basically bypassing men entirely, having some type of, Amazonian, uh, Shira type society where there's no men and it's just women, and maybe they have like one man to breed with, like very almost like a insect colony or ant colony or a bee colony type of thing. So that is, part of lesbianism is part of an extreme version of feminism. A lot of people don't like to talk about it. A lot of people don't really, really talk about that. They try to ignore me because who's this smart guy talking about all kind of shit? It's like, you know, people just take what I say and they, kind of in a popularity contest, and then they just basically repeat what I say like a parrot and bring it to their, you know, um, accounts or whatever, and then just speak what I say like a parrot. And then when I hear them speaking like me, I'm like, oh, that's my parrot. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, that's my parrot, man. He don't give me no credit. And that's what I'm gonna call these people. People that don't give me no credit, don't give me any type of shout out or acknowledgement, and just repeat my words and things that I say pretty much like a parrot. That's what I'm gonna call these people. And I've been calling them parrots, but that's pretty much what they are, because yeah, you just you're repeating what somebody else says like a parrot, and you're not giving them any credit, not giving them any acknowledgement, you know. Very similar to plagiarism. And shot, I just have to point out the late great Alan Roger Curry. He hated these dudes. He absolutely busted a nerve in his head regarding these, guys that used to plagiarize him, steal what he says, talk what he absolutely despised these guys. Like he hated these dudes with a passion. And I I don't have the same sentiments, but definitely they're parrots. And it's a lot of them because that's just what people do, man. They copy off you in order to appear wiser or smarter than what they actually are. And somebody that's just got the, comments, basically just have some type of understanding. They know, oh, this dude, he getting this from Broke Genius. This is what he talks about. So he's listening. Like I could tell who's listening to me by the way their conversation is. Like a lot of people, cloud watch and stuff like that. I mean, I do that, and like I say, I do uh repeat people's let's say quote unquote talking points or things that they say. I give them a shout out. I acknowledge where I say it. Like I okay, this is where I got this. This is who I was listening to. It's no big deal. People have a degree of narcissism that is absolutely amazing. I mean, like everybody, a lot of people think that they're just so. It's like they act like they're celebrities or something, and it's like, dude, you're just a dude with a microphone and a smartphone, uh, at best, saying some saying something on YouTube, man. That's I mean, I don't know why people have this, level of narcissism, but I think that the internet breeds this shit. Like it's like mold or something, but humbleness is a part of stoicism, I believe. I'm very much I try to tap into my inner stoicism very much so. The harshness of life, men were born to deal with the harshness and hardiness of life and deal with it and wake up the next day and deal with it again and again and again and again and again. And yeah, some days come home, you got some time, maybe have a shot of gin or a shot of vodka or two, maybe even smoke a cigar, smoke some herbals, every now and again or whatever, you know, to kind of break the monotony. Some people do a little bit more than that. They might, get into other stuff. But the thing is, man, men were created to handle the harshness of life, the harshness of reality of life. Not to say that women weren't either, but what happens a lot of times with women is they tap into masculinism by proxy of dealing with everything by themselves, um, and being this kind of, I call them she men, you know, wearing pants every day, you know, dressing like a dude when you're, what I'm saying, like, hey, and it's like just kind of being like a light tranny, basically, if you want to call it like a tranny light, or yeah, tranny light, what I'm saying, type of situation. A light trans, like if you, if you wanted to make some type of, it almost sounds like a drink, light trans, you know. And now, I'm at, yay, I shame, if this shames you, so be it, you know. Um, I'll do it for free for you. So the thing is that when it comes to that hardiness and that roughness of life, not every man can deal with the hardiness and roughness of life either. Many men have left this earth, have broken down, have struggled trying to deal with the hardiness of this life, the roughness of this life. Every man ain't created equal. I'm not gonna even say that I'm the fucking most stoic and hardiest dude. Like I'm good. I'm very, very hardy. I've, definitely have been through very various forms of hell and back and hard times and um a few good times, I would say. But it's some guys that, you know, probably, I'm sure, ain't even no probability or probably, that have dealt with more hell than I can ever dream of. You know, firstly, I would think of someone that got an unfair prison sentence. They got basically sent to prison falsely, or basically by being falsely accused, and they done 20 years or 10 years. Hell, it could be 1 year. I haven't had to deal with that. I've never had to deal with that, fortunately, right? And I hope not to. But it's all kind of people hell that people have went through that I have not been through. But yet, it's some hell that I've been through that not too many people have been through. Being in a war on a battleship, you know, um, being in an actual war, being in the streets of Chicago, watching shootouts, gang shootouts. Basically, I was young. My mother said I was like probably 3 years old. We lived like near the projects on around, I'll just say, 35th and State in the early 80s. So this had to be between like 82 or 84 or something like that, 83. She said that she had to pick us up from preschool. In a preschool, it was project buildings across the preschool. She used to have to pick us up, and it was gunshots in the background. It was people shooting in the project building. uh don't know who they were shooting at, have no idea, don't even remember it, thankfully. But even as a youth, or not even a youth, a baby, having to deal with the horrors and the hells of society, black society. Because let's face it, it's been, you know black people a lot of times act like we this holy omnipotent beings, that we like mother ghostly gods and gods of the earth and all of this type of shit. Maybe some of us, but a lot of us are hellions. Okay. You look at the hood, or even that particular, I don't believe my mother was lying. I definitely believe that was true. It was gunshots in the mother was like picking us up in a preschool and basically having to run, to go to the car, to get out of there, to go back home, in a mix of gunshots, in broad daylight, leaving preschool, picking up your kids. So imagine picking up your kids, and that's a war. That's a war zone. And I ain't gonna lie, like, a lot of times, just in generally, I would say a lot of black people get desensitized to violence, to, let's just say, roughness, or uh ghetto-ness and stuff like that. And it's not really that big of a deal, right? It's not happening to me at this particular moment, right? It's happening to somebody else, but it's not happening to me. And other people, let's just say white people, they look at it exactly how it is. I remember I was in the Navy. I was getting out the Navy. I was processing it out, and it was this guy that said that he was doing his training in Great Lakes, and I mentioned I was from Chicago and we was talking briefly, and he was like, "Man, it's a war zone." And I was like, I didn't have no rebuttals because they look at it from a vantage point of exactly how it is. Oh, they don't some people like a lot of a lot of older black people as well as just in between. They sugarcoat things, and they basically kind of look the other way, mind their own business as a mode to survive. And they don't look at things how they actually are, like the exact reality of the situation. This is an actual war. Like I did a video, and I explained what was going on in my own opinion of what was going on in Chicago, why was so many, bodies and so many people, you know, it's a civil war, and it's like that's the way I look at it. I look at it no different. Well, I ain't gonna say I don't look at it differently, but it's very similar to like the Hutus and the Tutsis in Rwanda. You got basically it's not even really similar because it's actually weird when you really think about it. It's really weird because the weirdness comes what people tend to do. Well, a lot of what American foreign policy is, let the Africans kill each other, stay back, let them kill each other. But they actually do that in America, and that's where it gets weird because this is like, it's like basically it's not Africa. You know what I'm saying? But they look at it like, okay, these Africans that don't believe that they're Africans in America, these FBAs or whatever, they killing each other. We just have the same, you know, we just do the same thing. Just let them kill each other, basically. You know, um, and it's like you look at okay, you look at Ukraine, they like we gonna step in, we go, you look at Israel, oh, we gonna send you weapons, we gonna help you out, we gonna give you reconnaissance, we gonna do, but then the Africans, the Haitians, oh, we'll let if you can escape up out of there miraculously, we'll give you immigration. That's the best we could do. But the people in there, yeah, 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 y'all can just kill each other like rats and roaches. You know, that's the foreign policy. So looking at this, I look at it from a perspective of, I mean, I'm a warrior. Okay, I can deal with things probably more heartily than anybody else. I mean, I've been in Chicago. Um, sometimes you got to take risks to get a reward. Um, it's rough sometimes. Like sometimes you gotta go with it. You don't have to, but again, I also trying to make money in this country, and in a lot of regards, it's war. Try if you want to have something in a way, kind of you got to go to war. You know what I'm saying? It's just how it is. There is a reason you got to understand entomology. Entomology, right? Words. It's called work. Why is it called work? Take the k out of it, the K. War. You going to war every day. If you got a job, you go to work, going to war. Because it's economics. Economics is a form of warfare. You don't have that much money, so you what? Go to work, war. You go to war. Yeah, You know, I mean, this is this is the type of channel. I'm the type of person. I'm gonna make you think. You gonna think. You don't. I'm not talking about not tonight. Not maybe I don't know. Maybe I might I don't know. Depends on how things go, but I ain't really trying to talk about no celebrities and none of that shit. Not tonight. I'm not really in the mood. But the thing is that what I'm getting at is a lot of this stuff is related to, at this point, organized chaos. That's what I look at it as, organized chaos. When it because the reason why I call it organized chaos, as far as like how Chicago is the way it is, why so many people, you know, getting away with basically murder, allowed to get away with murder. I talked about last night, open air drug markets, you know, is because it's organized chaos. Now, I don't believe that's political, meaning I don't. Now, a lot of the neighborhoods are Democratic. A lot of these neighborhoods, a lot of, Chicago is a what? Democratic machine. The Democratic convention was where? In Chicago. The Democratic machine, right? So I don't believe that it's political in a sense where either side, I think, just kind of doesn't really care. I mean, I mean, it's definitely, I would say, being a quote unquote Democrat right now, knowing all of what's going on, knowing what's been going on for decades. I just Years ago, I just was like, you know what? I just kind of threw up my hands, like when you start to see all this stuff, and then you see more. It's kind of like the movie where dude, he saw like people, and they look like skeletons and look like aliens and shit. You start to see things exactly how it is, and you like, this don't really make sense. you know um this is just kind of weird. Why are people celebrating the fact that they can kill their baby, or they want to be able to abort babies so much? Like, I remember before I was even born, in Vietnam, the people that were like protesting, the Vietnam soldiers that came back home, and just the actual war itself, they called these guys baby killers, because the war was pretty harsh, it was pretty brutal. And yeah, they did have to bomb, they did a lot of carpet bombing. And yeah, they did kill a lot of babies, just like, kind of very similar to what's going on in Palestine, in Israel, right? So they called them baby killers when they came back home. And now people are so wicked. I relatively don't normally say that word. My dad used to say it a lot, and when I hear it, it's exactly how I hear it. Because you got a lot of, people don't really say that word a lot. They hardly say it. Probably the only few people that ever say that word. Because yeah, when you hear it, you understand that word. You know what that means, and definitely that's true. It is a lot of wicked people, and definitely a person that is willing to kill their own baby is a wicked person. Other people in other countries do not will they can you cannot do that in a lot of countries in the world. If you dare to do that, you will be killed after you get away with it. You will be killed after you even so much got away with it. And I ain't gonna lie, this is another reason I really don't get along with a lot of women in America. I mean, like, if you really, really want to get down to the meat and potatoes of things, like, I don't really get along with a lot of women, because I have very, very different views. You know, it goes beyond conservatism with me. I mean, I don't think like the average person. Like, I wasn't raised like the average person in America. I have an entirely different philosophy than the average American person. I mean, it does help me in a sense of being grounded. I'm able to very easily stay away from people, that I shouldn't be with, and engage in certain activities that you know shouldn't be in engaging with, and all of that. Very easily for me to not do it because I wasn't raised to think that's normal. I wasn't raised like that. So it does help in a sense of staying away from a lot of foolishness and malarkey and wickedness. Yet at the same time, like I said, the average person cannot deal with this average, this life, how hard and hardy that you have to actually be to really deal with this life, this world, and it's progressing as the day goes by. Like, it's not really hard, like, in a sense of, I don't think this, like, actual life right now is hard in a sense of like how hard it used to be. Like, let's just say probably the 80s, and maybe even the 70s and 60s. I don't think it's like hard like that. Like, it's hard in a sense of, like, because a lot of people are doing different things, and that kind of makes things hard. But it's a lot of opportunities now. It's a lot of technology that's available to make things a lot easier than it was, years or decades before. It's really, to be honest, kind of easy, but it's difficult because it's kind of it's kind of becoming like a society, like an America, like in the movie Idiocracy. If you ever saw the movie Idiocracy, that's kind of what America is becoming. So you got people that have short fuses, short attention spans. They, try, what I'm saying, getting turned out and shit. You know what I'm saying? They rocking the rainbow, and it's not Skittles. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it just, a lot of people are folding under pressure, under the pressure of society, kind of similar to Rome. Like, I always go back to, ancient Rome, and it's just like, yeah, I mean, it's a very uh easier existence if you can kind of, be more stoic and just kind of just sit in silence sometimes if you can, and meditate, and do some push-ups, and some sit-ups, run about 2 or 3 miles, if you can, just kind of just go into tap into, trying to be a fit person, and deal with the pains and the ails of life, and embrace it instead of running away from it. You're embracing the toughness of life. And that's what makes you that's what actually makes you. That makes you that person that nobody's trying to fuck with. It's like, man, I can't. Man, I just, they see you, they take a beeline. You know, what I'm saying. When you around other people, they quiet. Because they don't really got nothing to talk about with you. Because you not, you're not a pushover. People in a way kind of respect you because they know you're not the one to be tried. You're not scared of them. Other people cannot even walk a mile in your shoes, let alone a block. They'll jump out the window. They'll probably slit their throat before they hit the bottom because it's too hard to deal with your existence. Your existence, most people don't have the chutzpah to deal with. And it's like, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I said this before. A lot of people, a lot of black men were forced to be stoics, had to be. That's where the blues came from. It was like no money, you know. I my lady left me. I had to leave my family because I ain't had no money. It's like, man, it was rough, man, back in them 50s and 40s and 60s and shit. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. Like, I see little like posts and stuff on Twitter and all that. I remember seeing a post of, I think it was today, and somebody was saying basically one of the reasons the family was together is because they kind of had to be. The black family was together because they had to be to survive. It was so rough. Uh, they needed to be together to survive. Now, that was one aspect. The other aspect of, people were basically they had some type of Christian Protestant value system. And from that Christian Protestant value system in America, is the family. You know, the family is together, you get married, you try to be righteous and do right unto the Lord and all that type of stuff. That's why, people were together. Grandma was with grandfather. It's like, man, this is, kind of weird, man. I think I was listening to the Hood Servative, and you know, a lot of people a lot of people don't, they might, I don't know how they think about Dirty Folks. He's from Chicago. He's actually a Chicago person. Like, he's in Chicago. Like, he's like a goon that walks, all up and down Chicago, and probably engaged in a lot of activities that he can't really talk about on open air or whatever. But he's not a dumb dude. He's a smart dude. He's a smart street dude. You know, um, he said that grandmas now don't even have a grandfather or a husband, so therefore, grandpa does not live with grandma anymore.
Message.
Grandpa does not live with grandma anymore. Grandma, a single grandma. grandma a single mom, single grandma. Grandpa out doing his own thing, or grandpa ain't even around. Don't nobody even know what grandpa is, but maybe grandma. This is the this is the society. This is that society, this is the feminist dream that's, I mean, I guess they won it like back in the 60s or some shit. I don't know. Well before I was born. This is that society now. Grandma ain't even with grandpa no more. You go over you stay with your grandma for the weekend. She waking up cooking eggs for herself. Probably ain't even giving you no eggs. The eggs just for her stingy ass. Grandpa ain't even got no eggs. He ain't even there. What's good? What's going on, T Riddler in the house. Grandpa ain't even at the fucking house, man. She got this house by herself. She got maybe one of the kids live with her, maybe, or she got a house by herself. All her kids, kids got relationships. She ain't got no relationship to first. Grandpa been long gone. Been divorced for 20 years. She just got she just got a cat that she call Whiskers, and she has a pantry full of cat food and a bunch of kids that have kids that come over every now and again. And yeah, old people don't like me either. Old black women, they do not like me as well, because I'm not like my peer group. Like I'm a wise, Generation X male. Like I've been around older men, so I know their dirty laundry. They can't pull that shit on me. I know what went on in the 60s and the 50s and shit like that. Like you know what I'm saying? They gotta be quiet when they around me, you know. Yeah, like when I start talking about, certain things, yeah, like I'm that dude. I can be with a woman that's probably 50, 60 years old, and they can relate to me because I'm wise. Like I know what the fuck is going on. Huh. Dark skin with a bald head. Hilarious. If I probably go in the sun for a long time, I'll get my skin tone will definitely be darker, but not like blue black dark or dark skin. Oh man, a brown. I'm a chocolate dude. I'm Mr. Goodbar. In the words of Ron Wills. See how I just did that? I ain't just say that, and like I ain't say it like I fucking originated that word or those words. You know what I'm saying? I gave credit to the person that created that type of lexicon or whatever, or created that term or whatever. It's not that hard. But you know what? I'll say this. This is what I'll say. Most of the people that are parrots that take ideas and steal them, they're not successful. Like they're not making a whole bunch of money and shit like that. And a lot of times they crash out. They have a crash out because they're not themselves. They're trying to be somebody else. And when you're trying to be somebody else, that's really difficult to do. It's like almost insanity. You gotta, you know what I'm saying? Because you don't, cause I mean, all you gotta do is give somebody else credit, like, and then it's not a big thing. People do it all the time. Scholars do it, professors do it, authors do it. A lot of people give, people credit, and then you don't have to go take psychotropic pills because you got mental illness because you're trying to be somebody else. You got schizophrenia. You got pre-schizophrenia and shit because you trying to be somebody else and shit because you so much of a narcissist you don't want to give anybody else credit because that you think you might lose some followers or some shit. I mean, it's like, man, I don't know, man. People crazy, man. A lot of people are crazy. If you when you realize a lot of people are either stupid or crazy, you'll have a lot better fucking time dealing with people. You realize those two things. A lot of people are either stupid or crazy. You'll have a lot better experiences dealing with people because a lot of people fit two of those categories, one or the other or both. But the thing is this, you know, a lot of men deal with life and we're made to deal with this life, this hardiness and this harshness of this reality of what we call life. Women were made to be with men. They were not made to be single, single with kids, men with pants or women with pants, or she men. They were not made for that. So the reality of them trying to put a round hole in a square peg is them having early mortality rates. If you notice, a lot of women are dying at 40 and 50 years old when they normally should be living like 70, even longer. They're dying early. They're career women that sacrifice old age in the sake of career for some checks, for some direct deposit checks to their bank account so they can buy some shit from the mall is pretty much closing out. It's going out of kind of going out of style. So they could buy some shit online, basically, you know, Amazon or whatever. Maybe go to the mall. I don't know. Go shopping, go to Ross, you know, Gucci, the Gucci store, the Prada store, the Louis Vuitton store, Nordstrom's. Nordstrom's is popping, you know. Nordstrom's, they Bloomingdale's, Nordstrom's, Neiman Marcus, and then 50 years old, croaked. You like, damn, what happened, man? She was, you know, she don't look like she was unhealthy or whatever, you know, getting PCOS. PCOS is like kind of like the male female version of prostate cancer, or having prostate tumors, and it makes it difficult for them to even they're delaying um motherhood, some of them, to basically in the sake of a career, and then they eating meat, eating all this nasty shit, and then they getting PCOS. And then even if they wanted to have kids, they got damn it have to have surgery or have some type of basically modern health change to deal with the PCOS. And it's like, yeah, trying to fit a round hole in a square peg.
What does your husband say about this? Did y'all discuss it?
No, I'm not married. I don't. I would not choose. I would not choose to date into something like that. I got choose to be single.
Okay.
I'm a PhD.
Okay. Congratulations.
He rolled for that, baby.
Yeah. Independence. And here's a tripped out thing about independence, right? I choose to be single, right? All that shit, right? This is the bloke or the underlay for the overplay for that, right? And that's kind of what I'm talking about. That's what I was leaning into. A lot of the women that carry the banner or the flag of independence, right? And they carry it well. I'm not gonna lie, some very, well-to-do independent women, quote unquote, right? But all women are not able to be independent. They not all like all women are not able to be independent. All women are not successful at being independent. I point you to the nearest ghetto. I point you to, you know, countless stories of women talking about, basically I'm getting evicted, or I had to, downsize. I had to sell my home because, I couldn't pay the mortgage, or it did make no sense of me having this house, and it's just I'm by myself, and I mean countless of TikToks and shit of women basically kind of explaining they're not doing too well being single. The whole like I'm single and I'm doing good shit. n- Very few women are single, independent, and doing great. Like some women, like for every one of them women that are millionaires, they got a boyfriend they go travel with that they probably live with or whatever. They got some boyfriend or whatever. They never showed a picture of the guy. It's about 100,000 women that are struggling, living check to check, possibly facing eviction, probably have to go live with family, live with their mom, whatever. Even worse, Chicago. Chicago is definitely a rough city as well. It really kind of prepares you for New York. If you can go to Chicago, to just about anywhere in the country. That's why it's a lot of people that are like from Chicago, and they live somewhere else. They live like anywhere in the country, like because the hardiness of trying to deal with Chicago, from the weather, the people, basically the environment. It is a very, very rough environment, and it's rough on a lot of different fronts, right? So one of the things that you'll see if you like did a tour of Chicago, you'll start to notice a lot of homeless women. And yeah, a lot of them are probably the combination of strung out on drugs and possibly even dealing with mental illness, or severe untreated mental illness. I will say that a lot of people, like, this is another thing I was thinking about, right? Like, you got poor in other countries, and that's like really, really poor. Like I was in the DR, I saw poor. Yeah, that motherfucker was it was totally different. It's a totally different poor than the American poor. The American poor is, I got a cell phone, I got Section 8 housing and food stamps, a government cell phone, and I get probably TANF or child support from the baby daddy number 3 or 4, and you have a fairly newer year model car. That's the American poor. You go, man, in another country that don't have basically welfare and government subsidies, you see some poor people, man. They on the street, they like, man, it's a totally different experience. And here's the tripped out thing. They ain't on drugs. They out on the street, and for whatever reason that they're out trying to survive just like stray cats and dogs. And you see a different level of poor versus other countries, versus America. Like the poor person in America is rich compared to other parts of the country, primarily because of government subsidies. And the thing is, a lot of times what people are doing also as well, they're not really poor. They're cosplaying poor. You got a lot of people, even people that people in my family, like they cosplay poor. They're not really poor. They're cosplaying poor in order to keep their government subsidies. They make just enough money to, qualify. And then if they make any more, they have to be creative, have to be sneaky. They have to put cash up under their mattress or in a shoebox somewhere and hide the actual money that they have. They got a, hair studio in the basement. If they making $75,000 a year, and I mean cash, and then they, basically getting, Section 8, welfare, stuff like that. A lot of people cosplay poor in this country, in order to get government subsidies. Now, other countries that don't have that, it's no way for them to cosplay being poor because they're not getting anything for it. Now, some women, man, because they are envious towards other women, it's many times where a woman has been, she might do some hair for somebody, and the woman find out she got some, she get link cards or welfare cards or whatever. She get Section 8. She go do call a hotline, and she tells on the woman and says she's got basically a hair studio in her house, and she's making a lot of money. And next thing you know, um they investigate or whatever, because some of these state government offices, they got teams of investigators. They have a way of knowing if you, like, they can actually like stake out your house. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, they can like follow the breadcrumbs to see if you, like, making money, or you got some type of hair studio. Like, they could, you know see your page on Instagram and all. They could do all of that. Like, they can. A lot of people don't understand what the reaches of the government has, or capable of. But the thing is that, yeah, that happens. Like, a lot of people are just, they got different hustles, but they cosplay being poor in order to get government subsidies. Other places don't have that, they don't have that luxury to do that. So, the thing is that a lot of the people that appear, a lot of the women that appear to be doing well, talking about the independent, they may be doing well, but it's a whole bunch of women that are not doing well, that those women trying to propagate independence and influence independence is doing those women a disservice, because you got women crashing out because they're listening to women tell them that independence is the way to go. And you know it's the cat's meow. You just, you can make your own money, fuck listening to a man. You ain't got to do that. And it's like, yeah, I mean, they definitely they got a lot of women that are crashing out because of that. The career woman that went to college and everything like that, and she's able to do all of that. All the other women are not able to compete on that level. They're not able to do that. It's like dudes that's millionaires, right? And they selling you on trying to be a millionaire or whatever. They selling you on a dream of being like them and all that type of shit. It's like everybody is not going to be able to do all of that. They're just not. It's not going to be able to do that. It's just not reality. Everybody is not going to be able to uh, be able to compete on that level, man. Everybody has different cards, like the spoons of birth. I call it I call, everybody is not able to, basically enjoy certain things. They have to grow up, they have to take care of, their siblings and stuff like that because their mother, might be strung out, you know, might have, basically not been around and they had to take care of their other siblings. There's a lot of people that are born with like, you know, really messed up, circumstance and they had to deal with that. Well, anyway, this is a young crash out. Um, this is very interesting situation that I saw a couple days ago.
Here, here, and then stuff here, water, and yeah, here, and water, I don't know where. So I told them I'm gonna call the police and they start asking me like with
Okay.
that stuff,
Okay.
and that's it.
Okay.
So right now she told me.
Can you start getting demographics for me, please?
Well, can I speak for myself?
But
Can we
she
speak?
didn't do it.
Yeah, we can speak after. I'll get names first.
Okay.
So what do you want done with these with them?
I don't- But my boss he told me when you have someone like that, just call the police, close the door, and tell them everything happened and let them do whatever.
Okay.
So
He can go.
Yeah.
no, he didn't do it.
Excuse me, sir. You admitted that, right or wrong? Did you or did you not admit to that?
So right now, you're gonna stay
No, I'm
here.
asking you why she can't admit to what she said the first time, though. I'm asking why
Are
she
you
can't
gonna
admit.
give me an opportunity to talk, or are you gonna
Yes,
continue?
talk.
Okay. So right now, I'm going to review the security cameras, and then we'll figure out what's all going on. And what you're saying is will be recorded on the security cameras. So she said you didn't do anything. All right. So in the meantime, just work with Officer Weaver and Officer Hobart and get your demographics. You're not leaving right now. No. Okay. Oh, always.
If you're looking for a house, you should be looking for a mortgage.
You could mortgage in the dark.
727.
Go in. If you want to go in, you can go in.
I don't know what to do. I don't want to hurt anyone or do anything bad for anyone, but at the same time,
What I can
you
do is
that.
I can trespass them so that they can't come back. How does that sound?
Yeah, that.
You know my ID. That's not your ID to take.
I forgot.
I can't get my
Forgot?
ID back.
Oh, let's push it back in there. I don't want to sound the door. Push it in.
No, my ID
push it. Like, put your hand back. Let us sign in here.
Put your hand behind your back right now.
Yeah, now, bro, get boy, bro.
Your behavior.
Hey, call my mom, cause I'm getting my ID back from you, bro. I'm not
Now.
I mean, I think who invented that term, bro? I think generation Gen Z start you know what? No. People are saying bro. That term started from the like the surfers and shit in California in the like 90s. But then like that was who was saying that, but then it like became a term where even women are saying that. Like I think like the Gen Z just made it like a whole like lexicon that everybody was saying. And it's like, man, I ain't gonna lie, like I would say it's a red flag if you're trying to date a woman that says bro. I definitely think that's a red flag. If you definitely around a woman that always says bro. And then like you probably dealing with a woman that, basically is definitely a strag that always says bro all the time.
I'm not calling your mom. You're 18.
No, it's on to the corner. We have it. You want to stay in here?
call my mama. Okay, why y'all call my
And then one of the things that I have to notice that about a lot of these like arrest videos with these women, like, and you can tell it kind of goes into like it goes into how influenced they are by their mother and how dependent they are. Like, they're very dependent on their mother because I watched a lot of these videos, a lot of these like arrest videos. Mostly, it doesn't matter the age. Mostly all of these women that get caught, they're trying to either call their mother or involve their mother in some form or fashion. Almost like they're tied to the hip it's like you're 35 years old and you're calling your mother because you getting arrested or you about to get arrested. Like that's your go-to. You don't call a lawyer. You don't have a lawyer. You're not calling you're not calling your husband. You're calling your mother. So here's the thing, like a lot of times in that case, what that's telling you is a lot of these women, they might come off and appear that they're independent, they're driving their cars. In Saudi Arabia, women were just allowed to drive, I think like 4 years ago. They weren't allowed to drive before. Women been driving cars for damn near almost a century, close to a century now. But yeah, like basically women in America, uh, they get to the point where because they're calling their mother, that's very gynocratic. Like basically, they're calling the woman that is basically influencing them, involved with every aspect of their life. Um, they don't really have anybody else to call because they don't really have anybody else. They really just, it's kind of like, back in the day, they used to call me and mama's boys. because they was always around they mama. Now they call them son husbands, but a lot of these women are basically mama girls. You know, they're uh daughter daughter moms. You know, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, daughter moms. Like they, you know what I'm saying? First sign of trouble, it's no different than if they're 5 years old. Like they could be 45. They're calling their mama at 45 at the first sign of trouble. I mean, like, and then you hear all of the negative things that they say about men, and men are, I see a lot of times, every now and again, I see women say they the new nigga, they the new dude. I can tell you, as a dude to definitely have been around law enforcement, I ain't called my mama if I got arrested. I just dealt with that shit. I probably called my mom when, I was younger. I was probably like, I mean, before I was probably uh 18. But after a point in time, you got to deal with the world by yourself as best as you can. You're not thinking, I'm gonna call my mama. You're not. And definitely, I ain't gonna lie, like, I have never been around law enforcement, about to possibly get arrested or whatever, and be like, man, I need to call my mama. Give me a phone so I could call my mama. Let me call my mama. Like, that's never been no um aspect of anything I ever said or even thought about. But I mean, it's like, yeah, I mean, a lot of these women, one of the things I definitely noticed, their mother is heavily involved, like they're some type of school child, like they're a child that first sign of trouble, they have to involve their mom. Now, this chick right here, I mean, she kind of, like, she the way she talks is very interesting. Like, I want to hear if you can decipher her words, because that was very interesting. It's not the fact that she an 18-year-old shoplifter and all that. I mean, obviously, this is probably some part of this is, some ghetto somewhere, obviously, but um, it's just like the way she talks. It sounds like, kind of like James Brown. I mean, I can't really decipher what she's saying.
No, we're not calling anybody.
I don't care. Am I doing it now?
Stop.
I want to female to search me. I don't want no man searching me. I want a female to search me.
I'm not recording.
What the hell? I'll give you $1 million right now if you could just tell me what the hell she just said. I'll run it back.
Am I doing it now?
Stop. Stop.
I want a female to search me. I don't want no man searching me. I want a female to search me.
I'm not recording.
You know what that sound like? Like, I used to, in the 90s, they had a cartoon called Rugrats. And it was one of the, it was like they were babies. They were all, babies or whatever. And it was one baby or whatever, cartoon character in that particular series that he used to say, he used to talk like like he could, like, babies can't talk, like that's how he talked. Like, that's what that sound like. Like, I mean, I cannot decipher what the hell she's saying, but she's definitely saying something, I guess.
Have a seat in the car. No, if nothing, sit down in the car. No, you can't. Sit in the car now. You're under arrest. Sit in the car. Sit in the car. Sit. I'm sitting in the car.
I will get in the car and I call my mom. Don't grab me. Don't grab me.
Yeah. So let me see. I'm just trying to. I'm going somewhere here real quick. I'm going to play another video. This woman is definitely older than 18. I want to see if when she's about to get arrested, if she's going to mention her mama before they, put the cuffs on her or whatever. Like I want to just I want to just see if this chick mentions her mama before she's about to get arrested. I mean, it's it's interesting, man. It's like it's very very interesting, man. When you really kind of look at this, um, it's kind of interesting, man. Very very interesting. But another thing that I've mentioned quite a few times is that basically what's happening, from this whole saga of the, single mamaism, right? The single mamaism, right? So what's happening is, grandma and grandpa are no longer together, right? And the trend is probably, it's not going to digress, it's going to progress, right? So what's going on, in this further breakdown of society, uh the thing is that what you're having is not only is the woman, the mortality rate going higher, and primary, a lot of career women as well, or actually the mortality rate going higher. They're dying earlier. They're also getting arrested at an alarming rate. It's so alarming that nobody is reporting the arrest statistics of basically women in America getting arrested at high numbers. So you have basically the aspect of the single mamaism, the single, independentism. You have the, basically, lesbianism. And then, basically they're getting incarcerated at a high rate. Like it's going through the roof, the amount that they're getting incarcerated, because they got to do whatever it takes to pay rent. In order to be independent, you have to pay your own rent. You have to pay your own mortgage, regardless, because you're independent. You have to do that.
Or he like walk up on
The driver's side or
driver's side. So he waved it around like this. I said, "This is windy. Like you want to her a biggie bag?" Like so.
In Ohio, a simple mistake turned into a terrifying confrontation when an angry customer, furious over an incorrect meal order, made alarming threats toward the staff. What started as a minor issue quickly escalated into a shocking scene of anger and chaos.
I mean, you got to be kidding me. Like a freaking Wendy's. Like that's crazy. But you got a lot of fat people, man. A lot of fat people that they worship food. Food is their new god. I see a lot of that. They getting, they're not working out, they're not going to the gym at all, and they're not doing no workouts at home. They're not getting on no exercise bikes, nothing. And they basically their exercise is pulling in a drive-through, you know, or going in a fast food restaurant. That's their exercise. And then, basically, man, you get stuff like this, man, um, it's just, I guess, drag activities.
Here's what happened next.
Put your hands straight up. Put your hands straight up. Let me check. Go ahead, bro.
This is a car. She got it.
Just so you come back to my car right now. Have a seat. Come on now.
All right, thank you. You trying to pull off? She got the gun.
25. The female's trying to leave. Her. Don't. Put the car in park. Put the car in park. Put it in park. Put it in park. Step out. Step out. Step out. Just step out. We'll explain.
Okay, but what did I do?
We'll explain. Where's the gun?
I don't have. What are you talking about?
Is there a gun in the car?
Stop touching. What? Explain to me what I
Put your
did.
hands behind your back. You're going to be detained while we do this since you want to play these games, okay?
Detained for what? Hey, Colin, what? None of that. I'm sitting in the driver's seat. You put the gun up to your face like this. Who I? Don't talk to me, girl. You mad because you can't take a order.
Is there a gun in the car?
No, I don't know nothing about that. You pulling up on me, telling me to stop for what?
So
You know nothing about
So why'd
me.
you pull away when I
What?
put your dude in the back of my car?
What the f even talking?
You looked right
Stop
at me.
touching me.
No,
like that.
you're detained. Just
Detained
calm
for
down.
what?
Anything
I'm
on you you're not
calm.
supposed to have?
You just came up on my.
Stop right now.
I'm
You are not in
moving.
control of this situation.
And actually, here's the weird part, right? We live in the United States of America. There's something called a constitution. You have a right to remain silent. And nobody ever one of the things that I noticed about these videos, not too many people use that right to remain silent. And a lot of the times the right to remain silent would not only get you out of this predicament, but also not let you have things progress. It's like, everybody that watch anything crime related, crime shows and Law and Order, and all these different, the lawyer always says, why didn't you, why are you talking to my client without my permission? What did you tell the police? Don't say anything else. Don't talk to anyone. They tell you that because you may incriminate yourself by saying anything to a police officer. I mean, like, literally, you can basically incriminate yourself. That's why you have the right to remain silent. And very few people use that right. They never think about, oh, maybe I should just be quiet. Maybe I should just be like, I need my attorney. Now, if you say you need your attorney, they can immediately just arrest you. You know, I mean, that is, it's not. I'm not gonna say that just because you remain silent, that means that you're not gonna get arrested and all that. No, it just means that the police will go immediately into arrest mode possibly they might let you go depending on the circumstances, but they're gonna have to arrest you and basically book you in for you to see a judge and you to possibly get an attorney or talk to an attorney if you have one. But you're not, the conversation is will stop because you don't have to talk to the police. Nobody ever hardly thinks of that. Very few people actually use that. Right.
We are.
Am I moving?
So stop.
Did she see him pull the gun?
She never saw me.
No, he came up.
Saying he didn't, but he was. Yeah.
He said he was like this. He had it low, like below the door. You come to this car, I'm gonna shoot you. You come to this car, I'm gonna shoot you. Mind you, he parked right here. As soon as I open the door, he's telling me this.
Do you work for Wendy's?
Yes.
So tell him the same story. He's got a buddy
They came
on
to the
camera.
drive-through. We just got robbed. We don't have any registers. We literally just got robbed. So we're telling him we card only. So he plays his order. He like y'all rushing her, y'all rushing us, y'all rushing us. Mind you, we're busy. So yes, we're like anything else can we help you? I was taking the order. It was my friend. So he get up to the window, talk about you smart mouth bitches, this, that, and the third. We like. So of course we like, who the fuck is you talking to? Like, we don't give a fuck. Like, you can go somewhere else. That's exactly what we told him. Our GM came to the window and he even said, he just told him his total, trying to cash him out, get him out the way. So he pulls up, then he come inside, talk about, I'll beat y'all last, call some niggas, where the niggas at, da-da-da-da-da. We all looking like, this is Wendy's, you're mad, calling us poor, broke, all that. He comes to the door, he like, da-da-da, I know you, Mariah, I know you. First of all, Mariah is my sister. She looks like me, but that's not me. I don't know what beef y'all got. That ain't got shit to do with me. So I came to the door and I'm just like, I'm not Mariah. I don't know what y'all got going. He talk about you come up to this car, I'm gonna shoot you, waving a gun in my face. So I go in and close the door and I call my sister. I'm like, do you know this man? He's literally waving a gun in my face.
In the parking lot?
He was right here, parked right next to the door.
Can you guys get it on the camera?
Yeah, my sister screen recorded him.
Can you guys go pull it up on the camera for us?
You're gonna have, we'll have to ask our GM. But my sister screen recorded him. I had him on camera.
Are you still working?
Yes, I'm on the clock.
So go in. We'll come back in and get your information and talk to you in a second. Can you tell the manager to pull the camera for us?
Yeah, the girl in the passenger seat, she gonna hold the gun up to her face, talk about what you gonna do, what you gonna do, like just get him.
Okay. You have a concealed carry permit?
A concealed carry, no.
So whose car is that? Because whoever owns that car does. And you told us that was your car.
Well, it's the Tiffany girl, but it's her.
Okay, so
I can call them.
Well, hold on, listen to me. So here's the deal, right? So if we were to push this issue with the way you were driving off, we could hit you with a felony.
I didn't drive
Listen to me,
off.
listen to me, okay, real quick. Because you're in control of that vehicle, okay, in the driver's seat. You're responsible for everything in that vehicle, to include the gun, okay? So we're going to pull the camera, okay, where you guys were parked. So at any point, this is your chance to be completely honest. Did anybody read you your rights?
No.
Okay, I'm going to read you your rights real quick. Listen to me, okay? You have the right to remain silent. You understand that? I need a verbal yes or no.
Mm-hmm.
I need, okay.
Why did no one tell Indiana drivers about this new rule?
If you are currently insured, drive less than 50 miles a day, and live in a
Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You understand that? I need to hear it.
Yes.
Okay. You have the right to talk to a lawyer and have him or her present with you while you're being questioned. You understand that?
Yes.
If you cannot afford to hire a lawyer, won't be appointed to represent you before any question if you wish. You understand that?
Yep.
You can decide at any time to exercise your rights and not answer any questions, make any statements. You understand that?
What am I being arrested for?
Right now, you're not. You're just being detained. Okay? I'm just advising you of your rights so you know them. Okay? So it's Friday, August 9th at 12:43. Okay. But here's the thing. Okay? So when we pull the camera, you're not going to be seen sitting in the car with the gun.
That has nothing to do with me.
I'm asking. Okay?
I'm telling you, that has nothing to do with me. I never got out the vehicle.
It's a yes or no, ma'am. We're not going to see you sitting in the car holding the gun.
No.
Okay. So who did you borrow this car from?
It's a rental.
It's a rental.
Yes, I just said that.
Who did you rent it from?
It's like DL. I don't know.
DL Auto Sales?
Yeah.
Is it rented to
yes,
you?
It's registered to me.
So it's rented out to you. Okay.
That's why I said it's mine.
Okay. So you have no idea about that gun in that car.
No prior arrest, no nothing.
What's that?
No prior arrest, no.
Okay, so who is he to you? Is he your boyfriend?
Yeah.
Okay. So how did the gun end up under the passenger seat?
I didn't know it was there.
Okay. How long?
You see the car's missing his head.
Well, how long have you two been riding around in your car?
I've had the car for a minute, but not that long.
Is he in and often with you? Okay. What did you see happen today?
Bro, they came up tripping. She's on the mic. She's already doing too much. I'm trying to order the food, and she just saying extra stuff for no reason. Then she cuts off the order. She pull up to the window. Yeah, we had a complaint. Never had to be nothing more than a complaint. She closing the window, saying this and that. All I'm hearing is bitch, all in the background, doing too much. So we pull up. I never got out the car. He dealt with it as a man should.
Okay.
So they had nothing to do with it. Period. Nothing to do with
Well, the
it.
reason you're involved is because you're with him. You see
That's
what I'm saying?
okay, but that has nothing to do with Shanice Antoinette Floyd. You see what I'm saying? I literally drove the car. That's the only thing I'm guilty of.
See, they never hold they so like who you choose as your boyfriend is a reflection and is is gonna get you in trouble. It's a reflection of who you are as well. Like I said the other night, who your mate is a reflection of who you are, and what he does affects your life. And it's like, yeah, they never hold themselves accountable. It's like, oh, I'm just with them. It's not my fault. And oh, I'm just driving the car.
We're just trying to explain to you what's going on here.
I understand that.
And
I'm
the
trying to
thing
tell
is,
you,
and the
you
thing
listen
is,
to
okay,
him.
so we're kind of in the spot where if he says the gun isn't his, you're in command and control of the car. You're responsible for everything in the car. You could get a felony for improper handling in a motor vehicle.
Improper handling.
Yeah, because you had a loaded gun within reach.
But then how is it in reach if it's not? That's how it's supposed to be carried anyway, right? And then you don't need a CCW for all of that.
No, you're correct. You don't. But now we're talking about a crime was committed. Okay, so we're talking about an aggravated menacing was committed with a gun, and we find a gun
At a Wendy's?
Yeah.
Mendy. How did I menace?
I didn't.
anybody
Did I
when
say you?
didn't get out the?
Did I say you?
You're talking to me.
You're right. I'm just explaining to you what's going on,
Okay.
right? And I'm explaining to you what potentially could have happened.
There was no potential. We were
Let's
supposed to
speed
be.
this up a little
We
bit.
being
Did you know that gamers and tech enthusiasts like you and I have turned their passion into an IT career? JobWorks Education and Training.
Then he was like, you some smart mouth ass bitches. So then this is what he's on this market inaccurate at that. So we like,
Damn, man. Which one would you choose out of these three? God, dog.
like we was cussing at him. We was like, who the fuck are you talking to? Like, you could go somewhere else to order. Our GM, our general manager even told him that. Like, he came to the total, like, this is your total. You're gonna pay, you're gonna pay. He pulled off. He pulled up right here to the door. Came inside.
Quick, where do you?
And then she grabbed the gun. She put it up to her face, like, call who? Call who? So then I just leave the door closed and I walk back.
Where's the fucking camera footage? I mean, what she's saying, hearsay is not really admissible in law. Camera. That's why camera footage is very, very valuable.
Did that? He didn't get out the car and walk inside.
Okay, you're going to be arrested. Okay, and you're going to go to the county. All right, and you have a warrant out of Cuyahoga Falls. Okay, so either way, you weren't going to leave today. No, I'm just letting you know you have a warrant.
So they really didn't have. They didn't have. It looks like they didn't really have anything as far as an investigation, but she already got a warrant, so she's going to jail anyway.
Either way, you weren't going to be able to leave because Cuyahoga Falls is probably going to want you on the warrant. But because we're sending you to the county, you're just going to go to the county and deal with it.
So,
shocking scene of anger and chaos.
So let's.
So you knew you had a warrant in the state of Ohio? Somewhere in the state of Ohio?
Somewhere. I thought it was misdemeanor traffic ticket. I don't got a license.
Okay, but you knew of it. And you just didn't turn yourself in. You didn't look
Oh
up
no, it wasn't like that. I thought it was just traffic ticket.
We might have weapons on you. You did it from justice.
Was ultimately arrested for aggravated menacing and being a felon in possession of a firearm. As for his girlfriend, she was released from custody after questioning. How would you have reacted?
All right, so they charged him with the weapon and everything like that. Just trying to get some Wendy's, man. Some nasty ass, bland ass, plain like Wendy's. That's crazy. But anyway, moving on, basically we're gonna play a video of independent women kind of, explaining how things are going being independent. We're gonna play a video by a guy by the name of Lord Destro. He's got some pretty good video footage.
Y'all the ones who sold us that, we bought it, and now y'all mad. We that. Make it make sense. And when y'all was selling us the INDEPENDENT,
I don't need no man.
y'all also sold us the merits and the benefits of being that, right? Safety, security, stability. You got your own. You got to worry about no man. And so the reason y'all can't make all these songs selling us the opposite of being an independent woman is because you cannot live up to the merits or benefits of being a dependent woman, which means we have to depend on y'all for some things. Y'all can't stand up to that. That's why it's real quiet right now. It's crickets. I don't hear no songs about y'all want to talk about soft, feminine, agreeable women, but I don't hear no songs talking about that. But I heard all the songs in the world talking about being independent. That's because that was cool. That let y'all off the hook. You ain't have to do nothing for nobody. But where are the songs about being a dependent woman, a soft, feminine woman? I know where they at. They ain't gonna be nowhere because we can't depend on y'all for nothing.
Bullshit.
So shut up.
She's right,
My friends, every day another hardcore feminist runs into her bathroom to shade that unsightly underarm hair. Somewhere, a once proud I don't need a man warrior gazes into the mirror and wonders.
Hey guys, today we're going to learn how to add this scrolling animation to your website.
How can I be just a tad more approachable? Prepare yourself to see bloody boogers on discarded septum rings and yeast-infected poster girl dresses in the streets. As these brave post-war survivors swarm local Home Depots and running clubs, seeking the exclusive single man like a prize at the end of a scavenger hunt. Let us not forget their previous crimes against the patriarchy. Let the statistical data speak in our absence. For example, single women and mothers with children are the two fastest growing groups of people experiencing homelessness in the United States. Now I ask you, how could Drake or Kendrick Lamar compete with bars from HUD? For example.
So many people glamorize being a parent, a single parent. I don't need a man for nothing. I could do it by myself. Let's really talk about it. Being a single parent is not for the weak-hearted. It's not something to be glamorized. It is so difficult looking your child in the face, knowing that you cannot provide what they deserve. Knowing that in order for you to provide everything that your child deserves, you have to neglect your child because you bouncing from one job, two job, three jobs, school. There's not enough hours in the day for you to work 2-3 jobs, go to school, and provide everything that your child needs.
First off, I'm gonna let her cook on this video, but you need to witness this epic crash out with minimal distraction. The tragic consequences of these delusions continue to ripple through, affecting not only their own lives, but the innocent children, who we might call Cobrelings, caught in the crossfire of their narcissism and misguided pride. The belief that they can thrive independently, or worse, raise a child without the guidance of a strong patriarch, is in the eyes of your grace, Lord Destro, a comical farce, an act of hubris laid bare.
It's so easy to fall into the demonic oppression of bitterness, hatred, unforgiveness, jealousy, wanting to unalive yourself, depression, anxiety. Nobody talks about that. Nobody comes up one hand and says that you didn't have to feed your child Lipton soup and a sandwich for the 4th day in a row because your food stamps didn't come in yet. Or nobody talk about the fact that they closed your food stamp case because you started making $50 more.
No one talks about the father who, after losing his job, finds himself jailed for falling behind on his child support payment. A cruel irony, isn't it? It's funny how the system works. After these women face the heartbreak of a failed relationship with their first love, Uncle Sam, the government, they often come running back to Jesus, seeking redemption for their sins, hot girl summers, and poor choices. The church becomes their sanctuary, but only after the states have used and discarded them, leaving them no other option for salvation. This poignant cycle, full of irony and quiet tragedy, is the future of many post-war survivors. And your grace commands you not to interfere with this natural process.
Let's talk about how lonely it is. You have nobody to relate to you because the majority of your friends, they did things the right way, right? They went to school, they got their career, they doing what they got to do. And hey, they could be a single parent, but hey, at least they got the funds to fund it, right? They're not working 2, 3, 4, 5 jobs.
What did your husband say about this? Did y'all discuss it?
No, I'm not married. I would not choose. I would not choose to date into something like that. I choose to be single.
Okay.
I'm a PhD.
Okay, congratulations.
And that person, hey man, look, you had a good guy. And you blew it.
Yep, I sure did.